Hey guys, it's Jessica Jones with DR Horton Homes, and today I'm in our Truland Series Pecan floor plan. It is my new model home in Jubilee Farms in Daphne. And with that being said, I'm here to tell you all the pros and cons of Daphne, Alabama. Okay, so first things first, I am totally a Daphne girl. I grew up in Daphne, went to school from third grade on in Daphne, graduated from Daphne High School. So it's really hard for me to totally make a list of cons. Obviously, I'm almost 40 years old and I'm still here. It is a place that I truly love. So any of my cons, take them very, very light with a grain of salt, okay? I am going to kind of walk us through my pecan floor plan here in Jubilee, just so you can kind of see some of the awesome features of this home. Again, it's our Truland Series, and we just moved in here about a month ago. So finally getting settled in and all the things. So first thing, number one pro for Daphne is going to be the location. So I'm going to have a sit. Here we go. The number one pro for Daphne is going to be location. So you can drive through Spanish Fort, Daphne to Fairhope, and not even know you went right through Daphne. It is not a large town. You can go from the interstate. I actually just looked this up. Where I am in Jubilee Farms is 5.5 miles from the Malbus exit, Spanish Fort, Interstate I-10, 5.5 miles, and to downtown Fairhope, Thomas Hospital, shopping, Fairhope restaurants is 6 miles. You are literally right smack in the middle. I love that. That's one of the reasons why I chose my house in Daphne, because of the affordability of it, and you are not paying that I call it, and I worked in Fairhope for 9 years, so I can say it, it's a Fairhope zip code tax. I have a ton of great things to do in Fairhope, but I like living in Daphne because it's a little bit more affordable for me, and I can still go enjoy all those things that Fairhope has to offer. And Spanish Fort as well. So, the Spanish Fort Outdoor Mall, Dillard's is up there, California Dreamin', they've got the best happy hour, and then downtown Fairhope, which of course has all the amazing shopping. It's still super cute, super local, and restaurants. So they have a lot more of a variety of restaurants there. But again, I'm just 6 miles from there. It takes about 10-15 minutes to get either way, depending on what time of day it is, traffic, things like that. Location wise too, Daphne to like Pensacola airports, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how quickly you drive. And anything I say is at arm's length. So if you want to be somewhere, affordable but close to all the things, Daphne is the perfect spot. So that would be my number one pro. My first con is going to be the lack of things to do in Daphne. So this is I'm going to be straight up honest, straightforward. All right, here is your kitchen and the pecan plan. As you can see, wonderful Truland backsplash. All the Truland plans will have the upgraded gourmet kitchen with the stack out hood vent, all the things like that. Showing you the kitchen because you're going to have to get really good at cooking, really enjoy hanging out and entertaining at your house. We do not have a ton of things to do within the Daphne area. So kind of going along with that, you're super close to everything. I will say our nightlife, like our getting out place, used to be Moe's Barbecue. It was the good old local barbecue restaurant. And in our mid-20s, we would throw down at this place. It had a bar. We were all friends with the bartender, and that was the place you hung out. It was the nightlife here. There's not very many places if you are trying to find somewhere with a lot of things going on at night or to do. I would say you're gonna have to drive, which we do have Uber, not like a ton of Uber, but Pensacola, Mobile, even downtown Fairhope has way more nightlife than Daphne does. We came home from a good night out smelling like a barbecue restaurant. So just know that if you are looking for that kind of thing, you are going to have to drive or look and go live somewhere else. I'm so sorry. All right, I'm going to walk over here towards this is actually a secondary bedroom, but it is my office right now. You can see we're getting all cleaned up in here. It's a little messy because I want to go over one of my other pros for Daphne is the schools. I went to Daphne High School, like I said, but there's also, I went to Christ the King. It's a local Catholic school. It's K through 8. I was non-Catholic going to Catholic school. It was small. It was quaint. I loved it. I'm still friends with a lot of my friends from Christ the King. There's also Bayside Academy, which was down on the bay. It's in Daphne as well. But Daphne public schools are still really comparable to any of the local area schools for Baldwin County. So we have some really awesome schools here for Alabama. Do not just look at Alabama as a whole. Baldwin County is known for having a really good education system, support system. I know my son went to school in Daphne, my older son did, and I went to Daphne. So, and I'm kind of one of those people that says like school is what the kid makes it. But I do know that we had a really great support system of teachers at Daphne, and I probably wasn't totally applying myself in high school, but I thank God I landed where I am. I'm a good talker. But I do think that that makes a difference. We draw in a lot of people for, education reasons, people from other surrounding cities who want to be over here on the Eastern Shore for school districts. Between Daphne, Fairhope, and Spanish Fort, you can look up any of those education-wise. Spanish Fort, Daphne High School. Daphne High School actually has the International Baccalaureate program there. So there's definitely some really awesome things school-wise in the area. All right, now y'all, as you can see from this hairdo, that's just frizz central, and it is a crisp 88 degrees outside. It is warm. That is something that I'm always going to say for me is a con. I am not a lover of warm weather or bugs. The gnats right now are driving me insane. I do want to see. This is the stained pine that they do in all of the patios of the Truland Homes. But the bugs and mosquitoes and things like that in Alabama are nothing to write home about. It is not fun. Um, I am a girl who likes seasons. I like to wear boots and leggings and sweaters and all the things. You do not have that here, okay? You are going to be getting rid of like 90% of your coats. I think the only time that we truly get a taste of that winter weather is kind of closer to Mardi Gras. I feel like that's when I always find myself like reaching for my jacket whenever we go out because you're going to the Mardi Gras parades and it's definitely cooler at night. But that being said, last year I got 12 inches of snow at my house, so I can never say never. But bugs, humidity, all those things, you're just going to have to be prepared for it. I love that Tony and Jess like encourage people to come down, tour the area, kind of get a feel for it. And most of them will come in and say, is it always hot like this? Yeah, it kind of is. It typically is. We're going to highlight this fireplace right here because amazing, beautiful floor to ceiling brick fireplace. You are not going to be using your fireplace very often. So this is more of an aesthetic thing than really functionality thing. So just know you got to prepare yourself for the elements of Alabama. Another big question I feel like I always get from people who are coming from out of town or out of state is wildlife. Oh my gosh, do you guys have alligators, things like that? Like, have you seen them? I've lived here since third grade. I've seen a snake in the wild. one time. So if you have seen a million snakes out and about, I don't know, like, comment below, because I have not seen very many snakes. I will say, and I will send a picture of this so that you can see it. Um, I did run over an alligator one time.
Can I pet that dog? No. Can I pet that dog? No. Can I pet that dog? No. Can I pet that dog?
I was not happy about it. It was kind of really sad. Um, I was quick story time here. We had gone to a concert at the Soul Kitchen. It was about 10 years ago. And I was the DD. I was being good. I was driving everybody home. I was sober. And we were on the causeway. So once you live in the area, you'll know there's the causeway and the bayway. And you typically want to take the causeway. It's just a little quicker. There's less traffic, all the things. But the causeway is almost level with the bay. There are like some barricades up in certain areas, but I was driving, it was nighttime, driving back from this concert, and right up until my headlights got onto it, did not see this alligator, just screamed right over that thing. And no one in the car believed me that it was an alligator. They're like, oh my gosh, it was a log or this or that. I said, no, I am turning this car around. That was an alligator. And sure enough, in my 39 years on Earth, I've only ran over one animal, and it was a pretty sizely alligator, but he's just crossing the road. So anyways, they're not just always out and about. It's kind of random, but I would say the causeway, you can kind of see them. We do have Alligator Alley in Daphne, which is right by the causeway, so it makes sense. And there are a few like trails and things like that that have pier going over the water, and sometimes you can see little gators like laying out in the sun, something like that. But for the most part, it's kind of cool. They're not hurting anybody. But yes, I did take one out. Took one out for the team, I guess. So that would be a con, but not totally a con. More weather and bug related than the actual wildlife. One of my other pros of Daphne and the location proximity of all those things is what they've added as far as outdoor activities, nature walks, trails, things like that. We've got Jackson Oak Park, you've got Mayday. We are in a 45 to an hour, I'd say probably closer to an hour from the beaches, things like that. But there's still, I always tell people too, there's still local beaches to fill that void. So if you are going and you want to just go walk a sandy beach, I tell people all the time, go to Jackson Oak Park. You can walk down there. It is so scenic. I know Jess and Tony have video from Jackson Oak Park. That's where I take my son, my little one. Um, it's got a really nice beach. The only thing is you don't go get in the bay. The bay has like high levels in certain areas of bacteria, so we're not trying to go swim in there. I think we did a lot when we were younger, and didn't know any better, but it was probably cleaner then too. I mean, I'd say growing up, we're about 15,000 more population wise in the area than growing up. So, anyways, we were not scared to get in the bay. I now, as an adult, am scared to let my kids in the bay. But we do go down there and build little sand castles or make a tree fort or something like that on the beach. Jackson Oak Park, I've been walking in the mornings, and my coworker Ashley and I saw about like 20 deer walking in the woods. That was really cool. So there are little parks and little nooks you can find. There's some secret ones that I'm not going to put on here, but if you move and you've watched this video, just ask me, I'll tell you. But there are lots of little outdoorsy things to do in the area. Once again, not big on like party, like nightlife style, but there's a lot of good places to go visit and walk around, get your outdoor fix, besides the beach. So a lot of people are like, oh, but you're not going to live close to the beach. I lived at the beach. It's good. It's great. You can go be at the beach in 10 minutes, but living at the beach is also living in a tourist area, so that wasn't for me. I didn't wanna go to the grocery store because I needed milk, and everybody and their mom is, on the strip and bumping their music and things like that. Like, I just wanted Eastern Shore is definitely a quieter lifestyle here. So that's what I wanted, what worked for me. It might not be the same for everybody, and that's fine, but it's definitely still got some nice little spots to fill that void as far as a beachy feel. Go walk on the pier. Again, walk at Jackson Oak Park. There's little creeks that you can get down to go to the bay. You're also really close to Fish River in Daphne. Fish River is technically in Fairhope. I think it might cut through Daphne somewhere weird, but I don't know where it is. So that is another thing that I would list off as a pro. I love that I'm not all up in the tourist area, but I'm close enough to have a good day trip to it. So all that being said, I have two communities right now that are in Daphne. We've got Jubilee Farms and the Reserve. So Jubilee is going to be a larger neighborhood. We have Truland and Horton Homes in Jubilee Farms. And then the Reserve is an established neighborhood as well. We have single car and two car options there. That one is in the 280 to 350 price range. Jubilee is starting more at 420 to I'd say 580-ish. It depends on what these houses have spec'd out in them. So I'm going to add some shots in of my beautiful new model home, and I hope to see you soon here in Lower Alabama. Daphne.